Good morning, everybody. I've had to change my plans for today. All week I've been planning and recording footage today and going to Scrivener's, which is a bookshop in Bakewell or Buxton that I wanted to go to for ages. I was going to record it, take you along and have a laugh. But it's a little bit nippy outside, so Ellie's took car to work to take kids to school. So I think I might have a walk into my local town centre and have a look at Waterstones and Works, record some footage there. I want to buy a book today because I didn't buy one last week, as you know. I think I might buy like a standalone or something like that because I'm in between loads of series. I'm going to do some footage later where I show you some trilogies and series that have been sent to me recently that I'm really looking forward to getting into. So I am like an habitual series starter. That's a problem that I need to work on. But there's so many series that I've read book one and thought, that's amazing. Let me jump into another book one or another series. So I'm in between like Poppy War, Red Rising, Mistborn trilogy. I'm on Way of Kings at minute. So yeah, I'm just mental. But you've followed me long enough to know that I'm a bit mental. So I don't want to keep buying series because I'll just read book one and then move into book one or another one. So standalone, I'm going to stop babbling. I'm in a right good place today. I might take Sky for a walk, but I took her out yesterday and she's limping because she's 12 years old now. But I'll meet you to Sky later. That's not what I meant. I'll introduce you to Sky later. Anyway, I'll catch up with you in a bit because I need to get dressed. I forgot to say, I think I'll do a book tour in this video. I'm not going to tidy up. I was going to move all this. Like, this is washing pile. Like, the plan was that this were going to... Oh, my nipple. Ooh, harken. The plan was that this were going to be like a seating area for me to sit and read books. But it just turned into a washing pile because life's lifing. So, yeah, I'll show you my bookshelf later anyway. And my other one over there. I know I said I weren't going to buy any more series, but I keep getting drawn to this one. I think this is book one in the Farseer trilogy. Loads of people keep messaging me telling me to buy that one. John Gwynne as well, this one. Faithful and the Fallen. Not read any of his stuff yet. People keep telling me to try this because that's meant to be class. What else is that? I just bumped into someone actually that's now following the page and recommended she buy Fourth Wing. So she's now going next door to Works because it's cheaper. Oh, there's just so many. This one up here as well, I think. This is part of the Caraval series. I really want to read, where is it? That one. Once Upon a Broken Heart. But I'm told that I need to read Caraval first. Is that right? Tell me if you know, because I haven't read any of them. But I'm told it's like Alice in the Wonderland vibes. And I'm here for that. This is where a lot of you fantasy lovers are going to be disappointed with me. I've still not read it yet. And I want to, but I just don't know if it's going to be too like, travel here, travel there. So if you've read Lord of the Rings, tell me why I should. I don't know why I'm putting it off because I love films. This book is a book that loads of you keep recommending to me, and it sounds insane, but again, it's part of a series. Plated Prisoner series it's called, but it sounds phenomenal. I think it's a Midas retelling. It says, this is the story of King Midas. Oh, that's what we're always told. The Golden King with his palace of riches and me, the girl he turned to gold. Upon the snowy mountains in the sixth kingdom of Araya, I'm locked away in Highbell Castle, away from the dangers of the world below. No one can get in apart from him. King Midas rescued me from the streets. He gave me food, shelter, and his heart. I promised to love him forever. But when war comes to the kingdom, a deal is struck, and I am the heart of the bargain. Everything I know starts to change. My love for Midas challenged, my trust broken. Suddenly, I'm sent to travel between kingdoms to a future I no longer understand, and my spirit becomes truly tested. I'm always told this is his tale, but perhaps that is no longer the case. It's mine. That sounds phenomenal, but I can't buy another series. I'm not bought out. Can you believe it? I'm going next door to the Works just because they're cheaper and I'm always dragged to a bargain. But I got what I expected there. I got a hello when I went in, which is class, and I know what to expect from Works. Some 18-year-olds stood behind a counter talking to each other and ignoring me, but it's cheap in it, so I can deal with that. Hi, stand corrected. Customer service in there were class. Biggest smile on her face ever, the girl that served me. If you see this video, you're incredible. But yeah, I got two books from there, and one was recommended, Belladonna, recommended by someone I can't remember who, and the other one is Keeping 13 because Zoe over on TikTok sent me Binding 13 yesterday that I'm going to read with my wife, and I saw it in Works for a £5, so I picked it up. But I'm going to try and find somewhere to eat some food now and then read a bit more of The Way of Kings, and then after that go home and have like a mad rush before Ellie gets home and do a bit of tidying so she thinks I've been busy all day. So I've just come into charity shop because I can never resist a good charity shop haul. And I found, there's a few good ones here. There's the original cover Throne of Glass, which I'll show you in a sec. But then I found this first edition Goblet of Fire, which I'm not buying. I'm going to tell the lady behind the counter it's first edition so they can change the price. And then, where's the original cover Throne of Glass? Here it is, look. Don't forget your charity shops. Not only are you giving back, but you get some rate bargains. You're not even ready for what I've got for my dinner. Oh, look at this. There's an little African, I'd say restaurant. It's not, it's like an indoor market. And they've got a stand. So I've got some plantain, some chicken, and some jollof rice. So, I've never been here before, but my father-in-law told me it's banging, we'll see. That rice is ridiculous. Got a kick to it, but you'd expect it because I think there's chilies in jollof rice. Plantains are always banging. If you've never tried plantain before, you need to. It's like a really sweet banana. And the chicken, oi, that is banging. I'm going to eat this and then read for a bit. And I'll catch up with you later. We're back home and I'm buzzing. My feet are killing and I want to talk to you about books. So, this is what I bought. Belladonna. Because someone messaged me after I posted my review for One Dark Window and said, if you love One Dark Window, try Belladonna. It's got similar vibes. I ain't got a clue what it's about, but I'm a sheep. I am like the easiest influenced person on planet Earth. If someone says to me, oh, you'll like that book, I'd just go, all right, brilliant, I'll buy it. So I bought it. Next one is this one, Keeping 13, because Zoe on TikTok bought me Binding 13, which is a romance book. And this is the second one, so before I've even read first one, I bought the second one, because that's the kind of guy that I am. No other logic behind it other than that. There's Binding 13, thanks Zoe. I'm currently reading, as you might know, Way of the Kings by Brandon Sanderson. I'm like 750 pages in, this book's insane. There's a lot of book that I'm just like, because it is epic fantasy. There's like loads of characters, loads of places. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's confusing, but I'm having a good time with it. The story about Kaladin is just insane. Kaladin, if you've not read this book, is basically a slave, and you follow his story, and it's just magical. Like, the camaraderie, the found family, the trauma that man goes through. Oh, it's just, you have to read it to understand how amazing his story is. It's just insane. Brandon Sanderson, I've actually read Final Empire, first book of the Mistborn trilogy, but I think Way of Kings is way better, for me at least. Magic System's still cool, maybe not as cool as Final Empire, but still badass. I am trying my best to not be an habitual series starter. I plan on trying to finish this book and the next 3 before starting another series. Who am I kidding? But that's the plan anyway, because I'm in between too many series. But these are some series I'm going to show you now that once I've finished Brandon Sanderson, his next book comes out in Feb, so I've got plenty of time. These are some that I want to read. So the first one is Daughter of No Worlds, which is the War of Lost Hearts trilogy by Carissa Broadbent. I think she's the author that wrote Serpent in the Wings of Night, and I enjoyed that book. I bought this for no reason other than because someone said, this is amazing, you'll love it. So I put it on my wish list and someone bought it me. So yeah, that's my logic behind that one. Next book, Shadow of the Gods. I actually bought this myself when I went to the Rebecca Yarros event in Oxford. I went to Blackwell's in Oxford with a few followers on page, went book shopping, and this is what I bought because someone said, John Gwyn's class. It's got another series that I think I showed you earlier in Waterstones that's meant to be very good. But I just bought this because it had a big creature on front of it and it looked very cool. I don't know anything about Norse mythology or Greek mythology, but I did watch Hercules when I was younger, so basically I'm like almost an expert. Bless my soul, Hercules on the roll. I ain't got a clue what I'm reading, but there's never really any logic behind the books that I buy. As you might know from my TikTok and Instagram, I am the ultimate like book whore, if you want to call me that. I have no preference. I'll read out romance, fantasy, romantasy, historical fiction, general fiction, crime, thrillers, police procedurals. I will literally read anything. Don't care. Next series that I'm looking forward to. This one was also bought off my wish list. The person that recommended it told me to put it on my wish list, and I did, and then they bought it me, which is class. I love you all, by the way. Thank you. Bridge Kingdom by Danielle L. Jensen. The reason I did put this on my wish list is because I read A Fate Inked in Blood, which is on my other bookshelf over there, this year, and I loved it. It was such a fun book. I've had a few messages from people saying, like, DNF that book, I thought it was quite slow, and I'm like, what? I thought it was right quick. I think it got right into it. Freya, the main character in the book, wasn't annoying. Loads of female main characters in books annoy me. I think a lot of them are quite samey, like, oh, I'm quite weak and I need a man. But then they go to a different world and then they get right strong and they don't need anyone that can kick ass. Whereas Freya's story was just different. It just hit different and I loved it. So I'm looking forward to reading that. And then this one, this is meant to be urban fantasy, which is like fantasy but set in like an urban setting in like a city. And I believe it's kind of like Yakuza, maybe like Japanese mafia setting, but they've got magic, like based on jade, the gem. I think if they hold jade, they've got different magics and stuff. You might have realised by now that all the books that I want to read, I do no research on at all. I don't normally read blurbs on back of books. I like to just go in blind. But there are some books that I plan on reading at some point. That could change because I'm the ultimate mood reader. I could want to read all them now and then next time we speak I might have completely changed my mind 15 times. Just while I'm sat here, I've got another book here that I bought for such a stupid reason, Dune. That's just sat down there. It's not even on my shelf because I'll probably never read it. I bought this because I went into Waterstones and someone was talking to me about fantasy and sci-fi and they were like, oh, if you love sci-fi, you have to read Dune. It's like basically the holy grail of sci-fi. So I was like, yeah, I'll read it. They were like, it's really hard to read though. It's quite intricate and there's a lot of detail. And I was just like, yeah, I'll be fine with that. Like, I am the greatest sci-fi reader in the world. And then I got home and I was like, why have I bought that? They told me it were intricate books and really like clever books and stuff like that just go over my head. I'm not clever enough for it. So I literally bought that because I didn't want to look a mug in the middle of the shop. So yeah. Loads of books behind me. I'll go through these at some point. I know I said I was going to do a book tour today on my shelf, but I just don't think you care to go through everything. I'm babbling a bit now anyway. But yeah, that's everything I got today and that's what I plan on reading in future. I'll come back in a bit. Love you, bye. I forgot to tell you again. You might have realised I don't plan any of my content. My Instagram and my TikTok and my YouTube, I don't plan anything. I just pick camera up and I just talk to you. But I slept right well last night, and I know this isn't even important to some people, but so I suffer with my mental health. I am like a bit crazy. But that's cool. I think we're all a bit crazy because we're human and we live in a world that's a little bit messed up. But anyway, I am on sertraline for depression, propranolol for anxiety, and they put me on Zopiclone for sleeping. But Zopiclone used to make me feel right weird, and lately I've not been sleeping very well, which I think is why my mood has been really low. But I started taking promethazine, which is a antihistamine. I think it's used for like hay fever, but it's like good for, makes you drowsy. And I took 2 of them last night, and boom, I slept for like 10 hours, and today I feel wicked. I don't know why I came back on to tell you that, but I did. Just as you lot come to me as a safe space, sometimes when you see me talking to you and you'll be thinking, why is he just going on and on and on? And it's because this is where I escape. Like talking to you lot is my escape and I get so much joy out of it. So if you do listen to these little babbly bits and stuff like that, I just massively appreciate it because I get a lot of messages from people saying like, you saved my life, thank you so much. And I mean this when I say you lot saved my life every single day. Look how dirty that mirror is, by the way. That's my son. He literally goes up to the mirror and he's like, scratches down it. He's just 4. He's actually the perfect like contraception advert. Rather than Durex doing their own adverts, they could just record my son for like an hour and I think people would just wrap up. I love him, by the way. I do love him to bits and I'd never want him to change, but he is a 4-year-old boy. Anyway, I'll see you in a bit.